Does technical analysis actually work? Some traders swear by it. Others think it's a complete nonsense. The problem is that technical analysis isn't one single method. Every indicator, pattern, and trading rule makes a different claim about the market. David Aronson's book called Evidence-Based Technical Analysis demands a stricter approach. Define a rule clearly enough to be tested or accept that it isn't useful at all. The rule must then be evaluated statistically to determine whether its historical performance shows real predictive power or is merely the result of luck. This is called rule significance testing. In this video, we're going to understand how rule significance testing works, why a profitable backtest isn't enough, and then use Python to define a trading rule and run a significance test ourselves. Before we can test a trading rule, it needs to be objective. For example, imagine someone says buy when the price bounces off the trend line. And the reason is different traders may draw that trend line differently. They may also disagree about what counts as a bounce. Unless those decisions are defined precisely, we cannot test the rule consistently. Now compare that with a rule that says go long when the 50 period EMA crosses above the 100 period EMA. We can write it in Python, run it on historical data, and get the same signal every single time. This does not mean the EMA rule is profitable. It simply means that we have a clear claim that can be tested with evidence. A profitable backtest does not necessarily mean that the rule can predict the market. Imagine a strategy that randomly generates long-only signals throughout a powerful bull market. It may produce an impressive backtest simply because prices are broadly rising, not because its signals contain useful information. It simply benefited from the direction of the market, not from its ability to predict it. There's also another problem called data mining bias. If we test hundreds of different trading rules and keep only the most profitable one, the winner may simply be the luckiest one, not the most predictive. So instead of asking only whether the backtest was profitable, we need to ask a better question. Is the rule actually useful, or did it just get lucky? We begin the assumption that the rule has no predictive power. This is called the null hypothesis. The rule produces one of three signals on each candle: long, short, or neutral. A long signal is represented by +1, a short signal by -1, and a neutral signal by 0. Each signal is then compared with the market return that follows it. Before evaluating the signal, the market's overall trend is removed. This is called detrending. Detrending prevents the strategy from receiving free credit simply because it is stayed long during a rising market or short during a falling market. Next, we use bootstrap simulations to generate thousands of results representing what chance could produce if the rule had no real edge. Finally, we compare the actual rule with those simulated results. The result is expressed as a p-value. For example, a p-value of 0.03 means that if the rule had no real edge, luck alone would produce a result this good only about 3% of the time. The lower the p-value, the harder it is to explain the result through luck alone. But this does not mean the strategy has a 97% probability of being profitable. The p-value only tells us how unusual this historical result would be if the result had no edge. For example, let's get started with an actual backtest result. So take a look at this. It is generating more than 400 in PNL. The annual return is more than 2000. The win rate is 65% and the Sharpe ratio is 3.17. So it looks awesome, right? And this is also the equity curve of the actual portfolio when we compare to the benchmark, which is the price of BTC USDT over this period. So you might think this result actually looks good. But before we jump into conclusion, we have to consider the fact that the price of BTC itself was also going up. So even a buy and hold strategy would have made money. So that begs the question, does the strategy's code have some real edge? Or is it just pure luck? And in fact, if I show you the code for the strategy, you can see in the should long method, we have this. So it's not exactly a random function, but it is making decisions based on the timestamp of the candle. We're not even considering the price at all. So of course the strategy does not have any edge. But again, when I look at the result of the backtest, it looks good, it's going up. So how do we make a final decision? Well, that's when the rule significance testing comes in hand. So if I show you the next result, this is for a rule significance test over Jesse's dashboard. Now, by the way, as always, I'm using the Jesse framework to do my analysis. And specifically for this use case, I'm using the UI dashboard version to show you the result of the test but you do not have to use this. You can also use the research module of Jesse, which provides the rule testing completely for free. And on this page, you can also see some example code in Python. Now, while that's going, I want to quickly remind you guys about our Telegram. It's the fastest way to get notified about my future work, whether it's a new tutorial or a tool that I create. Also, don't forget to check out our free Discord, where more than 5,000 members like you and I are hanging out there and helping out each other with algo-trading so we can all succeed together. The links for both are down in the description. And you can also ask Jesse MCP to run the tests for you. In fact, that's what I did. So I just asked it to write both the strategies and run the rule tests for me. And at the end, it just gave me the results. So I just clicked on them and then I was inside the dashboard seeing the results as I am right now. So anyways, looking at the result of the test, we can clearly see that it is failing. So it says so right here. So the result is not significant. And if you take a look, the observed mean of the actual backtest is sitting almost in the middle. So it definitely is not beating these simulations at all. To be more precise, we want a p-value to be less than 0.10, but even that may not be great. So preferably we want it to be below 0.05. And the smaller this number is, we will have more confidence in the result that we are seeing. Now let's compare the same exact period with this one. So this one also has an equity curve that is going up. It is the exact same time period. So the market was going up during this time as well. So again, we're gonna have to ask the question, how do we ensure the result is not luck and that the strategy actually has some edge? So before I show you the result of the rule significance test, let's take a look at the strategies code. So this one is actually defining some indicators. So a fast EMA, a slow one, the ADX indicator, and the Dungeon channel. So the entry rule of the strategy is actually meaningful. So it is saying that whenever a crossover happens here and the ADX is above good threshold, and the current price is above the previous Dungeon channel upper. So basically we are also checking to ensure whether or not a breakout is happening. That's only the time that we actually want to go long. So this one actually makes sense. And these are some strategies that researched in the past by so many people. And when we take a look at the result of the rule testing for this one, we can see that it says it is statistically significant. The p-value is below 0.05. And if we take a look at this chart, we can see the observed mean of the strategy's return is indeed an outlier, and it is not sitting like in the middle or something like the other one. So again, this was the previous one, the one that isn't passing, and this is the one that is indeed passing. But if you are using Jesse's dashboard, you can just take a look at this part and it will tell you whether or not it is statistically significant or not. And by the way, in case you want to actually run this test yourself, this is the form of Jesse's dashboard. So you choose an exchange, a time period, you pass a trading route which asks for the symbol, the time frame, and the strategy's name, and then we give it the number of simulations. And that's it. Then you just press start and it will begin. Now these days, if you have watched my previous videos, you know that I'm doing almost all of my research using Jesse MCP. So I just ask it and give it a prompt and it starts the research for me, and at the end it just gives me the result inside Jesse's dashboard. So I click on these URLs, then I'm able to just take a look at them. And whenever I'm asking it to write a strategy, I always say that, hey, like this is the type of strategy that I want, but before moving on, I need you to run a rule test and then move on with the backtesting and then optimization and then Monte Carlo simulations. So basically the rule testing is the first thing that I need the agent to do for me right after writing the strategy. Because if the rule test is failing, there's not even a point in running a backtest for the strategy in the first place. And lastly, I know that guys, these days we are not used to reading books anymore, especially if it's such a long book such as this one. But I genuinely enjoyed reading this book and it changed how I looked at trading indicators altogether, because you hear all the time that whether or not a specific trading indicator works or not, but in fact all we need to do actually is to just run these tests to get an answer ourselves. So I definitely recommend reading this book if you haven't already, and definitely begin writing rule tests by yourself and run them. They are very easy but very effective. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I plan to create more tutorials just like this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.